This huge complex you see behind me is the Waterfront Hall. There's lots of different things going on here, from movie theatres to the Hilton Hotel. I don't have the money for it. To restaurants, to statues of sheep, and the river. Awesome. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And that is Victoria Square Dome. Now off to see St. George's Market, which I think is the building right in front of me, but I'm not sure. And then a free tour at 11 o'clock. A free tour of Belfast. You should do it as well. That, you know, during the day or during the weekends it's full of stuff. It's lively, it's a covered market, and it's sort of like more than 100 years old, which is nice. And I could say, because I can't say these things, it's my vlog anyway, it's sort of like Belfast's Covent Garden, but they sell everything, not just flowers. Well, Covent Garden sold more than that, but you know, do you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure that if you come here on a weekend, you will see all the stands full of stuff, and I'm crossing the road without looking. Oh dear. And Belfast is sort of like a mix of the old and the new. A mini London. Why am I comparing it to London? Because it's the truth. So we've got this sort of like Victorian, Georgian pubs, houses with new buildings, and then the white marble buildings, majestic and beautiful. And then you've got the more modern buildings, and that's it. And I just cut my face, which is lovely, lovely. So yesterday I was wondering to myself, how come I don't see many street signs in Irish Gaelic? And this is the first one I've seen yesterday and today. I want to learn some Gaelic, so I assume, and it's quite easy to see that it says Cromac Street. Lovely, love it. I'm not gonna try and pronounce it because I know it's gonna be wrong. Tour with Brian, and I have to tell you that although Belfast is not very big, it is rich in history, and he was amazing. He told us so many things, and it's the contrast in history, in Belfast history and Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland is amazing. Right now I'm in Cathedral Quarter, and right behind me there is, can you see it? Yes. That is the Albert Clock, and it is best known as Belfast Leaning Tower because it leans. Due to what, you might wonder? So basically, Belfast was built on marshland. So below us, there is sort of like mud, quicksand, you know, movie things. And because this was built in honor of Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, there's water there. Whee! It's raining. in 1869. The foundation's rotted over the time, obviously, and therefore the tower is leaning 1.25 meters. The clock of the tower, oh, it could be the Belfast Big Ben, sorta, kinda, no, not really. So it's 35 meters tall, and although from street level you can't see pretty much the inclination, if you go to Victoria Square Dome and you look at the tower, you can definitely see it leaning, which is fantastic. So Belfast is beautiful, is rich in history, and definitely take the free tour with the Irish Tourism Board. It's a pay what you want tour, but if you get Ryan, you're gonna be in for an amazing 2 hours, trust me. Raining, so I'm protecting my hair because I'm a woman and my hair is precious. Okay, so when I do these vlogs, my point is to share with people my adventures and give them information about the places I visit and show them the beautiful cities I see and the beautiful monuments. But to be honest, with Belfast, it's hard. It's hard to give you a perfect insight in the city's history because there's so much. So the best thing is, take a tour with someone who knows about the history and read about it, watch documentaries about it, and get to know this city because, like I said, it's not very big compared to other cities around the world, but it's got so much to know about, so much history. It's fantastic, really. This is called the Big Fish statue, located here at the docks, and it was built to commemorate sort of like the modernization of this side of Belfast and the confluence of the rivers Farset and Lagan. The river Farset does not exist anymore. It is underground, and this is sort of like a memorial to that. The rain has not stayed in Spain. He has come to Belfast. So I'm here near the river Lagan. I would say Lagan because it's cute. I don't know, just like it. And behind me you've got what is called the Big Fish. And tradition says that if you kiss the big fish, you're gonna be gifted with knowledge. So I'm gonna be super intelligent, even more than I am now. I wish I could have all the knowledge in the world. I can't. So I just kissed the fish. So let's hope it all goes here. I am currently in Oxford Street, and no, it's not London's Oxford Street, it's Belfast's of Oxford Street. Yeah, no shops whatsoever. And it's near the river Lagan? I don't know. One thing I've noticed, light, too much. One thing I've noticed is that many references to monarchs. Well, I mean queen this, queen that. There's the Victoria Square, obviously, Queen Victoria. She was very important for Belfast. And then we have the Queen's Bridge, which I assume is dedicated to Queen Victoria as well. And then we've got Queen's University for Queen Victoria, and on the other side we have the Albert Clock, dedicated to Prince Albert, who? Queen Victoria's husband. That girl, she's awesome. She died, so was past tense. Yeah.
Well, we can't go in, right? It's locked up.
Yes, I forgot to tell you that bit. So it's called The Crown. Controversial in that it's controversial because it was owned in the 1880s by a mixed religion couple. Sorry. All right, no problem. Okay, no problem. So it was owned by a mixed religion couple, and he was a Protestant and very much loved the monarchy. She was a Catholic and wasn't that fussed in the monarchy. So he said, I want to call it The Crown, and she said, over my dead body.
So he's killed her, huh?
No. There's a word called compromise. It means something different in marriage as it does in the dictionary. Reasons you might imagine, it's not because of the tragedy. Most people have heard of Titanic because of the films. Films like A Night to Remember, released in the 1950s. That got people interested. And then there was the science fiction one. I don't know if everybody saw that one. The one with DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. Where he joins the ship carrying a rucksack that was only made in the 1930s. He offers to take Rose on a roller coaster ride that was only built in 1919. So he had to be coming from the future to try and stop her chucking herself off the back of the ship and changing the course of history forever. Only for Rose to climb out of her deathbed and walk to the back of another ship, pull the big diamond out of her pocket and chuck it into the sea. It had been in her pocket for the poverty of the 20s, the austerity of the 30s, the war years of the 40s, and she just chucks it. That was my granny. She'd be getting in the water after. That's my inheritance. Your life might be over, love, but with that sort of money, mine's just starting. You see. To the left is the River Farset. It's now High Street, but Belfast in the Irish language, it takes its name from the River Farset. Belfast basically translates as approaching the mouth of the River Farset. Belfast became Belfast. Now, in 1605, a castle was built at the end of the River Farset. It became known as Belfast Castle. It was given to Arthur Chichester. He's probably the most influential of all the Lord Deputies. He was an Englishman who was given the task. We'll move down here a wee bit away from the door. He was given the task of anglicising Ireland. Not just change their religion, but also change their way of life, change everything to make it like a mini England. Make it. When they were knocking down the two up, two down, one out the back kitchen houses, they were replacing them with bigger houses with bigger gardens, and so a lot of the Belfast streets disappeared. A lot of people think Belfast has been named after the British monarchy. It hasn't. It's been named after the British Empire, on which it relied. Sebastopol Street, Crimea Street, Jerusalem and Cyprus Street, to name just a few. So you've a lot of these streets are no longer with us.
So this is St. George's Church, and they say this is pretty much where Belfast began. And the name Belfast, as you can see here, and I'm going to read it to you, comes from Belfast, which is Irish for the sandy ford at the mouth of the Farset, which is River Farset, that doesn't exist anymore, going back almost 1,000 years. So from Belfast we have Belfast. Amazing, isn't it? You can see St. Anne's Cathedral, best known as Belfast Cathedral, and this is the cathedral that gives this quarter its name, Cathedral Quarter. And according to my guide today, this is the best quarter with the best pubs for people over 24, because apparently people over 24 don't go to school, apparently. Like to drink, Cathedral Quarter is the best place for over 24s because it's got the best pubs around, that most definitely not around Cathedral, but more to that side there. If you're a student, if you're under 24 and you like cheap drinks, you go to Queen's Quarter because it's where the university is, so obviously it's like party. Anyway, but if you like spending money, you've got the best restaurants at Linen Quarter, which is near the river. So there you go. Wherever you go, you can find a place to drink, to eat, and to have fun.
The history of this beautiful building. So this building is over 100 years old, 1898. It began construction. The building took 8 years to finish, and it opened 1st of August 1906. Built when Queen Victoria, well, she gave Belfast a charter in 1888, giving Belfast the city status. Now back then, the people, they wanted a grand and a magnificent building. They wanted it in the heart of the city to mark the occasion. The building, well, it's a reflection of the wealth and prosperity at that time. Style of building, it's classical Renaissance style. The architect who designed the building, his name Alfred Bromwell Thomas. Bromwell Thomas was chosen when Belfast held a competition to find a winning design. His design was chosen from the entrance. The building that was here before was called the Linen Hall, and that building demolished, knocked down to make way for City Hall. They wanted the central location of Donegal Square for the new City Hall for Belfast. Well everyone, this is where councillors meet. Councillors have tea and coffee, refreshments at the table. They go to the chamber next door for their council meeting. Years ago, chamber, a very beautiful room, very impressive room. We use this room for council meeting. Council meeting is always the first working day of the month at 6 p.m. and tomorrow is the first working day of November. It's going to take place then tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The team busy getting this room ready for that meeting to take place. just going to gather here as part of this room here. This is the banqueting hall. We use this we use this room for small dinners. We can seat a maximum of 150 for a round table dinner. We also use the room for drinks receptions and meetings. The room has a bit of a theme. There is a Titanic theme here, and it concerns the three people in the portraits here. The man in the centre is Edward Harland, founder of Harland and Wolff, the shipyard that built Titanic. He was mayor of Belfast in 1885, and that's why his portrait's here. And look at the background of Edward's painting. In the background you can see a reference to Belfast Lock and his shipyard. The man on the left, another mayor, it's Viscount Peary. He was director at Harland and Wolff. This is his wife, the Viscountess Peary. And she was important in the development of the Royal Victoria Hospital, one of our central and largest hospitals in the city. Now both him and his wife, well, the Pearys were due to set sail on Titanic for the maiden voyage in 1912 from Southampton, England to New York. However, the Pearys never made that fateful voyage on Titanic because of illness. Viscount Peary, he got sick a few days before Titanic set sail, so they were very lucky. But their nephew,
oh well, it is pouring down. Well, in my mind it's pouring down, but okay, it's raining. I finished my tour of the City Hall. It's a free tour and it's really worth it. They show us the rooms, beautiful rooms. So just, if you come to Belfast, just register for a free tour of the City Hall, and you know, you can appreciate the beautiful art inside. And yes, hopefully you'll be luckier than me and there'll be no rain. Okay.